Cameras clicking behind him, President Biden told reporters that talks with NATO and now European Union leaders have been productive so far.
It's overwhelming the interest of the United States of America to have a great relationship with NATO and with the EU. I have a very different view than my predecessor did.
The discussions, the first in person since the pandemic began, and will be followed by a meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin tomorrow. ABC's Karen Travers is in Brussels.
The White House and the president have forcefully pushed back on the criticism that by just having this summit right now at this stage in Joe Biden's presidency, it's a reward to Putin. The president talked about this yesterday after his meeting with NATO leaders, and he said that he kept hearing from people at NATO that they were happy he was doing this meeting, that they thought it was appropriate to do it right now.
California is lifting mask mandates for fully vaccinated people. In Atlanta, however, a mask mandate led to a killing.
Police in Georgia investigating a deadly dispute over a mask. They say a customer opened fire at this grocery store near Atlanta when a cashier asked him to cover his face.
He had a gun. He slapped the lady upside the head, and I told the officer, I said, he got a gun.
The gunfire leaving the cashier dead and a deputy and the store security guard wounded. The alleged gunman also injured, now under arrest.
ABC's Faith Abube. People in the town of Rockton, Illinois, near the Wisconsin border, have been ordered to leave their homes and will not be allowed to return until a chemical plant fire that began yesterday with a huge explosion burns itself out. ABC's Liz Nagy's there.
The ominous plume of thick black smoke could be seen as far as 40 miles away. Firefighters say underneath it, a fire had ignited at the Chemtool industrial lubricant factory, sending more than 70 employees scrambling for safety.
The fire expected to burn for several days because using water on so many toxic chemicals is not an option. You're listening to ABC News.
It's all about the nose. It's your air filter, the first line of defense against bacteria and viruses. If too many germs get stuck in your nose, guess what? You get sick. That's why it's so important to keep your nose clean, just like washing your hands. Nasal irrigation gets rid of germs by rinsing the nasal cavity, but neti pots are hard to use and, frankly, kind of gross. Now there's a better way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself. It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to flush out allergens, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. Millions use Navage for fast, all-natural relief from sinus congestion and allergies, and to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Navage is easy to use, affordable, and comes with an absolute guarantee of satisfaction. You wash your hands and brush your teeth every day. Now it's time to start cleaning your nose with Navage. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Hundreds of people who thought they got their COVID shots in New York City are going to have to go back for another one. ABC's Derek Dennis explains.
A vaccine redo. Hundreds vaccinated in the crossroads of the world. New York City's Times Square told to come back because the batch had been in a freezer too long. The city's Department of Health confirms 899 people need to be revaccinated after receiving Pfizer doses that had already expired. A statement says while there is no safety risk for the patients, the re-administration is being carried out to ensure that the individuals are fully protected. The affected patients have been contacted through emails and phone calls and are also being sent letters to make sure they are fully aware. Derek Dennis, ABC News.
Southwest Airlines flying again after a glitch forced it to ground its plane for hours. It affected a system that feeds weather information to pilots. Several hundred flights were affected. Delta's having problems of its own. Technical issues overnight, stopping people from being able to buy tickets on the Delta website, through the app, or through its call centers. And researchers say for the first time, they have put a tracking tag on a great white shark off the coast of Rhode Island. The idea of a great white in the waters worrying some tourists like Karen Bacon.
Now that I know this, I'll be more aware. But we should all be aware anyway.
The shark, a young 7-footer, one just about 300 that have been tagged in the Northwest Atlantic. This is ABC News.
O'Reilly. Ready for an oil change? The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts are here to help. We'll make sure you have all the supplies you need to make the job quick and easy. Right now, get 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for just $28.95. Plus, get a $10 gift card after mail-in rebate. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
The reasons more and more people are coming to NC Tractor to do business are the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors, Bobcat zero-turn mowers, fantastic customer service, and the special Phil Sheehan seasonal discounts. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford is making dreams come true for folks who want the rest.
It's going to be a pleasant day. Considering this time of the year, it's not going to be as hot and humid as it was yesterday. We are going to see highs in the mid-80s and lower 90s. Sunshine will move in once those clouds move out, and overnight will be mostly clear with temperatures in the 60s. Tomorrow, highs will reach the low to upper 80s, and we are going to stay dry. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
We are starting out on this terrific Tuesday morning with pretty good weather. We're 68 degrees right now. Started out at 71. It dropped a little bit. But it'll be warming up to a warm 86 before this day's over with wind gusting to about 17 miles per hour. Now, it's going to be clear all the way through the weekend, maybe coming up on Saturday. We get some shower activity on Saturday and Sunday, but most of the weeks, real pleasant. And we're glad you're joining us for the second hour of 3. There goes that hideous sound. We have no idea where that's coming from, folks, but it pops up occasionally. We brought out the CIA, the FBI, and Perry Mason. Nobody seems to be able to find where that's coming from. But anyway, we'll move on. 6 minutes after 7 o'clock, and we have these death announcements now. Jim Earls, 78 of Ellenboro, died Monday, June 14th at Adrium Health, Cleveland. Arrangements are incomplete and will be announced by Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service for Jim Earls of Ellenboro. George Garland Gilbert, 92 of Rutherfordton, passed away June 14th. A double celebration of life service to commemorate both Garland and Muriel will be held Saturday, June 19th at 2 o'clock. Visitation will be 1 hour prior to the service in the Family Life Center of Spencer Baptist Church. Crows Mortuary is assisting the family of Garland Gilbert. Myrelle Francis Reed Gilbert of Rutherford passed away May 30th, and the funeral service will be at 2 o'clock Saturday at Spencer Church with Bruce Caldwell officiating. The family will receive friends from 1 to 2 in the Family Life Center of Spencer. Jeanette Angela Martin, Melton, 81 of Rutherfordton, died June the 11th while at hospice in Smithville. Funeral services will be held at Adaville Baptist Church, Oakland Road, Spindale, 11 a.m. on Thursday, June 17th, with visitation at the church 1 hour prior to service. And Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Angeline Melton. Sally Mae Brock Patterson, age 78 of Duncan, South Carolina, passed away Friday, June the 11th. The family will celebrate her life at a graveside service at Western Carolina State Veterans Cemetery in Black Mountain, with details still pending. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Sally Mae Brock Patterson. Roger Doyle Tony, 81 of Ellenboro, died Friday, June the 11th. The funeral will be conducted at 2 o'clock Tuesday, June 15th, that's today, at Corinth Baptist Church, with Reverend Mike Connor and Reverend Ed Hopper officiating. Burial will follow in the church cemetery. Visitation will be from 12 until 1:45 today at the church prior to the service. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service in charge of those arrangements for Roger Doyle Tony. Jennifer Parker, age 47 of Henrietta, passed away Wednesday, June 9th at Adrium Health, Cleveland and Shelby. The family will receive friends in celebration of Jennifer's life from 6 until 8 o'clock on Friday, June 18th at Harrelson Funeral Home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Service, serving the family of Jennifer Parker. Mrs. Betty Joanne Massey Tessinier, 78, passed away Saturday, June 12th at her residence. Memorial services will be held at First Baptist Church, Henrietta, today at 11 o'clock with Reverend Jamie Johnson officiating. Eggers Funeral Home of Cliffside is assisting the family of Mrs. Betty Joanne Massey Tessinier. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. For the complete information on these and others, be sure to tune in this morning at 11:35 and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report, and they will be available for you at that point. Stand by. The Rush Limbaugh Morning Update is forthcoming.
The rising crime wave in New York City. Talk about it all the time. Shootings up 200% over last year. All sorts of violence and mayhem being unleashed. Now, the mayor, the idiot Bill de Blasio, says people's pent-up frustration of being cooped up inside because of the virus, he says that's the reason for skyrocketing crime. He says the $1 billion cut in the police budget, that's got nothing to do with it. Dismantling the anti-crime task force, the plainclothes unit, that's got nothing to do with it either. And, of course, neither does his release of over 2,000 hardened criminals from Rikers Island. And now another genius, New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, has put her 2 cents in. She agrees the massive police budget cuts are not related to the crime wave because she wants the police defunded. She says rising crimes caused by people who are scared to pay their rent. They go out, they shoplift a loaf of bread to feed their hungry kids. Well, how does that account for the 200% increase in shootings? Meanwhile, on the other coast, California Democrats are about to release 8,000 criminals from jails and prisons to stop the virus from spreading, supposedly. Liberal Democrats, they defund the police. The same time they release criminals from jail. I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
Newt Gingrich, explaining the worst kind of identity theft, a crime that can cost you your home and is not covered by insurance or standard identity theft programs.
Your credit card company found suspicious charges on your card. That's simple identity theft. It's annoying, but they cover it. The crime you really need to worry about is home title theft, because it can cost you your home. The title documents to our homes are online now. The thief simply forges your signature in a quitclaim deed stating you sold your home and he's the new owner. Then he borrows money on your home and leaves you in debt. You won't know until a late payment or eviction notice arrives. That's why I have Home Title Lock. The instant they detect tampering with my home's title, they help shut it down. You need to protect your home's title now.
Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you're already a victim. And enter RADIO for 30 free days of protection. That's promo code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
Just a program note, starting Monday, June 21st, Bill O'Reilly commentary will air at this time frame each morning, Monday through Friday. Bill O'Reilly starting June 21st. Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Come take advantage of the springtime sales event and get the automobile you've been wanting. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
Good morning. I'm Pastor Lee Coyle. Welcome to Coffee for the Soul, a brief moment of devotion designed to jumpstart your service to Christ today. Nothing gets my body and spirit started in the morning like a hot cup of coffee and a fresh challenge from God's Word. As we have considered the keys to life's best, focusing on the Beatitudes, I'm sure you have noticed that they are opposite of values the world promotes. The last one is no different. In fact, it may be the most extreme of all. In Matthew 5, verse 10, Jesus said, "Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." What? Blessed are the persecuted? How can that possibly be a blessing? And what key to life's best can be found in that declaration? Now listen to what Jesus continued to say. "Blessed are you when people revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven, for in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you." How can persecution be a blessing? First of all, to be persecuted for righteousness' sake assures us that we are believing and living in line with God's word and leading, obedience. And secondly, we are blessed when our faith brings persecution because it does not go unnoticed or unrewarded by God the Father. Verse 12 says, "Your reward is great." And thirdly, to live so in line with Christ we are persecuted puts us in real good company, the company of the prophets, not to mention our Lord himself. So when the practice of your faith lands you in hot water, thanks be to God, you are being faithful. So what's the key to life's best here? Joyful perseverance. Jesus said, "Rejoice and be glad." When we choose joy, come what may, we are in the position to recognize and experience life's best even when life may not be at its best. Joyful perseverance cultivates a high resolve to live for Christ no matter the circumstances, and joyful perseverance in hardship is a powerful witness of the validity of our faith and the difference Christ makes in the lives of those who trust and love Him. Now, that's Coffee for the Soul.
Good morning. Good morning.
Holding hands, sipping cherry cokes, and enjoying the music of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. 100.9 FM, 590 AM. This is WCAB.
You've heard it said, he's a diamond in the rough. Or maybe, diamonds are forever. Here's something else I've learned about diamonds. They're just pieces of coal put under pressure for a long, long, long time. So when I start feeling like I want to give up, I think about that little piece of coal. And if that piece of coal can make something of itself by not giving up, so can I. Persistence is in you. Pass it on. From PassItOn.com.
Now we go to the phones and start our call around news hour this morning. It's 16 past 7. And on the phone with me right now is Sheriff Chris Francis to give us an update on what's been happening out there. Good morning, Sheriff. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Hope you are, Jim.
I'm enjoying this terrific Tuesday morning. Tell us what's been going on.
Jim, the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 170 calls for service. There have been 11 arrests processed at county jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 182. Among those arrested by the Sheriff's Office, Richard Pringle, 38-year-old male of Magnolia, North Carolina, was charged with possession of a controlled substance in prison there in Spindale and received a $10,000 additional bond to the sentence he was already serving. Benny Richard Hudson, 56-year-old male of Boston, was charged with failure to appear and received a $10,000 secure bond. Kyle Kevin Whitley, 34-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with failure to appear. Among arrests, located heroin on his person, received a $10,000 bond. Akil Kellis Franklin, 20-year-old male of Henrietta, was charged with possession of controlled substance in jail. He was brought in on a writ last Friday from prison to the Sheriff's Office for a court case yesterday, and he was supposed to be going back to prison today, but located some meth on him and was charged. He'll have his first appearance today and received a $15,000 additional bond to the sentence he's already serving before he goes back to his prison cell. Robert Benjamin Parker, 42-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with 2 counts of failure to appear and non-support, received $500 secure bond as well as a $345 cash bond. Gerald Michael Cole, 62-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with domestic violence protective order violation and will see a district court judge today for bond. Among our incidents, we had a larceny, U.S. Highway 64 in Rutherford, a 2018 MVP black in color scooter valued at $500, displaying a tag of North Carolina MA79442 was taken. I believe the owner had left it for a short time because the taillight wasn't working when he came back to get it there off of Highway 64 from the little, Mount Vernon cupboard. Same was missing. His wallet was also missing that was there with it, with his ID and some cash. We had a larceny of a tag on Jack McKinney Road, Ruston. This occurred over the weekend at Harris Racetrack, but reported yesterday. The tag is valued at $38.75. It's independent dealer 140331. Again, North Carolina issued independent dealer 140331. We had larceny from a mailbox on Forest Ford Road. 2 packages contained dresses, and the value was $79.16. We had a larceny on Gray Rock Parkway in Lake Lure. This occurred over a year period of time. It was an 18-foot, 1968 Little Dude boat trailer. It had a Florida tag of LGIQ71. It was valued at $1,000. We had a larceny of a tag. Vehicle had broken down US 221A in Mooresboro. When the owner came back to get it, the tag was missing. It was PMW 9663. valued at $36. Then PMW 9663. That was also over the weekend. We had a larceny of a tag on Hawthorne Lane, Forest City. It was North Carolina issue, ADR 4209. ADR 4209, also valued at $36. And this occurred either there on Hawthorne Lane or when the owner drives it to work in South Carolina. We had a breaking and entering on J.M. Lovelace Road in Ellenboro. Nothing appears to be missing. There's a lot of items went through in the residence. We had assault inflicting serious injury. Pine Knoll, Forest City, where the victim had gotten a disagreement with another known individual. And during a fight that occurred after the disagreement, he was stabbed in the arm, treated and released at Rutherford Regional Hospital. And Christopher Ray Hitt is the suspect. He's a 45-year-old white male in that case. And, Jim, that's what we had to report today.
Sheriff, thank you for that report. You be safe out there, and thank you, and we'll look forward to talking to you again soon.
You too, sir. Take care.
Bye-bye. Sheriff Chris Francis reporting in this morning from the Sheriff's Department 911 Communications Center next.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as the spring and summer colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Coopers Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Now Marie's on the phone with us from 911 Communications Center. Give us an update on their calls. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's on the call list today?
Okay, in the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications Center has processed 472 911 and administrative calls, which consist of 51 for EMS. Rescue had 42. For law enforcement, the Sheriff's Department had 170. Forest City had 72. Lake Lure had 8. Rutherford had 30. And Spindle had 46. For fire calls, Ballstick responded to a motor vehicle accident. Ellenboro responded to a motor vehicle accident. Hudlow responded to a motor vehicle accident. Lake Lure responded to a motor vehicle accident. Rutherford responded to a motor vehicle accident and industrial fire alarm. SDO responded to an appliance fire. Sandy must respond to an industrial fire alarm and a fire investigation. And that's all I have for the morning.
Thanks so much. You have a great day over there.
Thank you, you too.
Bye.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Checking in now with Ruby over at SDO Fire District, Shiloh, Danieltown, Oakland, see what's been going on over there. Good morning, Ruby.
Good morning.
What's been happening over there?
Well, the fire department had one call, and that was to appliance fire. And on my birthday calendar, I got Lynn Crow and Blair Keller having birthdays. Miss Greg Blake is having an anniversary. Hope all these people have a nice day. And the signs are in the bows today and tomorrow. And, Jim, I have a prayer request.
Okay.
This little girl, she lives over in Golden Valley, and her name is Emily Benton. They've done one brain surgery for cancer. This morning at 10 o'clock, they're going to go back in, and I'd just like for people to pray for her.
Okay, I'm sure people will rally around that, and I appreciate you bringing that up, and we wish you the well. Thank you, Ruby.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ruby Taylor reporting out of SDO, 24 past the hour of 7.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Starting Monday, the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton show will air at 12:05. It'll be that hour, 3-hour program there from premiere. So join us for the premiere of the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton show at 12:05 Monday through Friday. Let's check in now with Gary Wilson. He's up at Fairfield Mountains Fire District, overlooking things for us. Gary, good morning.
Good morning, Jim. How you doing?
Doing well. Well, it's a terrific Tuesday. Hope you are.
Yeah, doing good. Had a hot day yesterday.
Boy, didn't we, though?
I think that's been our hottest one yet. It was humid. Set on about 91 yesterday the last time I looked. And that's warm enough, but it's summertime, so we shouldn't expect no fall weather, I guess. And fire calls have been quiet the last 24 hours for us in Bills Creek, and sitting on about 68 degrees this morning, sun coming out, and like another nice day coming up. Maybe a little bit less humidity today. That'd be good. And that's about all we got up here this morning, Jim. Everything else bounced along pretty good.
All right, so keep the snakes out of the creek, and we'll come up there and walk in the creek with our shoes off and cool down a little bit.
Kicking water snakes out of there first before you do that. You'll be all right.
There you go. Gary, have a good day, and thanks.
All right, you too.
Bye-bye.
Good morning. As we are experiencing the impact of COVID-19, let's stop predicting and let's prepare. Life changes, and then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called the unexpected. So when it comes to your financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm your Edward Jones financial advisor, Andrew Tisdale. A job loss, a change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call me today at 828-287-9197. Our office is located at Food Line Plaza in Rutherton. This is Edward Jones, making sense of investing, and a member of the SIPC. Bye.
And Andrew will be in the studio this morning a little after 8 o'clock to talk more sense about investing. Join us live this morning at 8:05. Right now we're heading over toward the Hudlow Fire District. Mr. Bob Hodge, good morning.
Well, good Tuesday morning.
How you doing?
We're doing just fine on this fine, cool morning up here. It's a little cooler this morning there.
Yeah, if we could just box it up for a while and keep it through the hot of the day, we'd be happy, wouldn't we?
That's right there. But it got warm yesterday, but look like we're going to, next few days, be a little cooler there. So
yeah, I think so.
Be less humidity. That make it feel better. But, Jim, up here with the fire department, let's see, last night we answered a vehicle accident call on Rock Road, and then we had to set up a landing zone for the helicopter to transport a patient from that accident. And I want to say happy birthday to Rita Midcave this morning. And other than that, things are going along pretty good so far this morning up here, and maybe it'll stay quiet with us there.
Was that a one-car accident, Bob, that they had?
Yes, I think it was an overturned vehicle, yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Well,
that happened about 10:30 last night there, yeah.
Always sad to hear those kind of things take place.
Yeah, but I hope they'll be all right there.
Yeah,
so I don't know what the condition of the patient is there. But anyway, other than that, things are going along good so far this morning.
All right, Bob, thank you so much. You enjoy your day, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, that's the Hudlow Volunteer Fire District Report with Bob Hodge. And we're going to check on this and be back with another phone call.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Now we're checking in with the Cherry Mountain Fire District. Sue Price, good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
You doing well?
Doing well. Hope you are.
Yes, indeed.
Good. Nice morning over here. We haven't got the sun out too good yet, but it's a nice, cool morning. That's good. Had an awful hot day yesterday.
Yes, Susan.
Well, let's see. I didn't have any calls from the fire department. Don't have any birthdays or anniversaries on my church calendar. On my personal calendar today, I got a birthday for Zoe Charles, so I hope Zoe is going to have a good day today. And nothing on Fairviews for today. And I don't have anything on First Sprout, so not too many celebrating, but we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day and enjoy it. And the Bible school is going on at First Sprout Baptist Church. It'll go through the 18th. Starts at 6 o'clock each night, so I'm sure they're having a good crowd for that. And I always enjoyed Bible school. That was always something to look forward to. And I don't have any other announcements, so I guess it's just quiet and calm over here, looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one, Jim.
I wonder if they still march in with the Bible school, start marching in and carry the Christian flag and the American flag, and somebody carries the Bible, and then they do all the pledges. Do they still do that at Bible school now?
I don't know. That used to be a good thing, though.
Yeah.
It was fun.
People used to want to be the one to be selected to carry the flag today, but it was always fun. I don't know if they do that anymore or not. But anyway,
I don't know either.
Well, you have a great day over there, Sue.
All right, you too.
Yes, see you next time.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Cherry Mountain, nice and quiet, as most places are nice and quiet this morning. Well, the Braves were off last night, but they will be going up against Boston Red Sox for a couple of, it looks like about 2-game series. And next game is this evening. We'll join the pregame following News 13 at 6. The first pitch is about 7:20, so join us. Many of you I know are following the Braves with us, although the Braves have been up and down all season. Last time we heard about them on Sunday, the Braves beat the Marlins 6-4, and hopefully they'll keep their mojo going and win some more games throughout the season. We'll see what happens taking place here pretty soon. We're making contact this morning over to the Drop-In Family Mart to see what's going on over there with the breakfast and lunch, and always something good going on. We will talk with Jesse in just a moment. And here's Jessica right now on the phone. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Is that bacon I hear frying?
Yes, it is, and country ham.
Oh, boy.
So everybody come on down and see me. I am by myself this morning, so just bear with me if I'm busy. But I'm pretty fast at what I do, so just bear with me if you come in and I'm busy. We got sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits, and you can get a small order of hash browns for only 99 cents with your order. If you get like a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit or a sausage biscuit, you can get order a small hash brown for only 99 cents. We will be having sloppy joes today. You can get a sloppy joe with 4 wedges for $3.99, or you can just get the sloppy joe sandwich for $2.89. So come on down and get you a sloppy joe this evening for lunch. They're really good. I love some sloppy joes. So everybody come on down and see me. We remember our truck comes in the morning, so we'll have fresh produce, milk, all your like your toilet paper and stuff we should have in stock come tomorrow morning. Remember that we have a for real machine. They're $2.99 a piece. There's all sorts of variety of flavors, cake batter, chocolate, vanilla, Reese's. They're really good for only $2.99. So everybody come on down and see us. Our hours are Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. and then Saturdays it's 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and then Sundays it's from 11 to 6. So we look forward to seeing you.
All right, Jessica, I'll let you get back to work now. Thanks for talking with us, and we'll see you again on Thursday.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Have a good day.
That's just as busy as a little beaver over there in the deli there. Drop in Family Mart, go see her for breakfast and lunch, and take some to work with you. Maybe take up an extra sandwich or plate of eggs and bacon, and entice somebody to at your office. Let them know you're proud of them. Coming up on Monday, a change of programming here. 21st of June, the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton show will be airing at 12:05. The Rush Limbaugh memories are ceasing, and they were coming up with another program on the premier radio networks, and we, of course, are affiliated with that. And the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton show. You may remember Buck Sexton has filled in for Rush numerous times. Clay Travis has his own talk show world, and they'll be joining together. Takes two, I guess, to replace Rush, but we're interested in seeing how that's going to go. That'll be Monday, starting Monday at 12:05, right here on WCAB. All right, we're checking in now with Tina White up in the you're Shingle Hollow. That's where you are, Tina. How you doing?
That's where I am this morning, and I'm doing fine. Feeling mighty fine this morning.
You happy about being there?
I am, yes.
Yeah, good.
Love being home. Well, it's 68 degrees up here on my front porch in Shingle Hollow. Fire departments have been all quiet, Shingle Hollow and Green Hill. We like it when it's that way. For birthdays, Pleasant Grove has Miss Diane Haynes. She's one of my neighbors, so I hope she has a great big birthday and enjoys it. And on Piney Knob, I have Hannah Scott, and I hope she has a wonderful birthday, too. I think she is in double digits this year. She's 10.
All right.
So, announcements. The Deddy Sisters will be at Piney Knob Baptist Church on Sunday, June 20th at 5 p.m. That's this Sunday. And the service will be held outside, so please bring a chair. And Mountain Creek Baptist Church has asked me to announce to get ready to party. They're having a summer block party Saturday, July 24th, 6 to 8 p.m., live music, hot dogs, magic show, and there's fun for the entire family. Other than that, we're all quiet up here as far as I know.
All right. Keep up the good work, and we'll check in with you next time.
Okay. Have a great day. Be safe.
Bye. 7:38, of course, Sunday is Father's Day. We hope you're making your plans to talk to your dad by telephone or go see Dad in face-to-face. I think he'd appreciate that. And if there's been some difficulties between you and your dad, how about be a good time to make up? Dads are important in our lives. 38 minutes past 7. That's coming up on Sunday. Also, Sunday is the first day of summer, but I almost felt like he's already here, didn't you? But it's not. It's coming on officially on 21st of June, the first day of summer. And let's see, we're going over to our next phone call, and that'd be up to Union Mills to get the Cali report. It's 7:38 right now. And if we can get Todd and Brenda off the telephone from talking too much, we'll move right on. Good morning, Brenda Kelly.
Good morning. How are you on this terrific Tuesday? Surely I wouldn't be talking.
Surely not.
No, that's okay. Todd was telling me he'd lost some weight. I said, well, I'm glad to hear it.
Well, that's good.
He said he'd been working on it, so that's good. But we hope everybody's having a good morning. I've got 58 degrees on the front porch. I'm 10 degrees cooler than Tina up at Shingle Hollow. So I went out and checked it again to make sure, and sure enough, it's 58. So.
Wow, you are cool. We're 68 here, so You're a little cool on the old vine today.
That's right. But that's all right. I like it like that. So we'll take it and run with it. I don't have but one birthday today, and that's my sister Marion Kelly. So I wish her a happy birthday. And I got a bunch of announcements. So
Okay.
let me get started.
Go
oh,
for
my
it.
goodness. Gilkey School Community Center on Saturday the 19th is going to have bingo. This will be from 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m., and it's 25 cents a card. And on June the 26th, they're going to have a community yard sale. Bring your own table, and this will be outside. For information, call 429-9075. And then we've got Piedmont Pleasant Hill Community Center is going to have a hot dog hamburger supper with all the trimmings, includes dessert and tea, and that'll be on the 19th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And the price is adults $8 and under 6 eat free. And Union Mills Community Clubhouse will have a covered dish meal, and that's today. That'll be at 12 noon. And then we got a country breakfast buffet Saturday, June the 26th from 7 to 10 a.m. White House Community Center at 5408 Painter Scrapper Road, Union Mills, NC 28167. Adults $6, children 6 to 12 $3, children 5 and unders for free. And they've got all kind of good food, and all proceeds go for the upkeep of the building. For bookings, call Marie Duckett at 828-625-9240. And I think that's got me covered.
That's a lot of announcements, a lot of things going on.
We're getting busy up here in this little community of Union Mills.
Things are opening up. I'm happy to hear it.
That's exactly right, and I'm glad to hear it. I enjoyed that program you had on this morning, sometime 5:30 to 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
About Marilyn Monroe and the Kennedys. I enjoyed that.
Wasn't that interesting?
Yeah, it is. And I thought, well, you know, we just never know what's going on up on the hill, do we?
Exactly right. That was Eric McTaxter's show, who's on 5 until 6, and he had an interesting guest this morning about the deaths of Marilyn Monroe and Robert Kennedy and John Kennedy.
And I thought it was odd that all of them, well, JFK and Robert were shot, and they say that Marilyn died from an overdose, but they don't really know that.
Yeah, that's right. What day did you say that luncheon was?
Which luncheon?
One for next Tuesday?
Union Meal?
Yeah.
Today at 12 noon. No, that's June the 22nd.
Yes, next Tuesday, yeah.
Next Tuesday, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I had so many, I got overwhelmed.
Yep, that's right. Well, I'm glad Tom Roop called and tell us that was.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, Tom. June the 22nd at 12 noon at the Union Mills Clubhouse.
There
Covered
you go.
dish meal.
So we got another week to prepare for that one.
That's exactly right. So.
All right, Brenda. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, and you stay in touch with us, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, catch you later.
Bye-bye.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
We're checking on our Ellenboro reporter this morning, see if he's over there and been able to talk this morning, give us the news from that part of our county. Ellenboro report from the fire district and things that are going on in the county or in the town. Let's see if he's there. He's there, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Luther Gilligan reporting from Ellenboro. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, you two. Nice day there this morning. We're having a good time.
Good.
But this quiet there, everybody just keep trying to get on that, go to work, get another day in. You see, for the probably had 2 medical calls, had 1 accident, but that got canceled before it got started. And what's going on there, we're going to have some Monday blood drive. Metro Church, 2:30 7 p.m. Sunday, Family Life Center. Everybody be there Monday after from 2:30 to 7. And that's gonna. You have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, Luther. Have a good one now. Keep improving, and I'll see you next time.
Take care.
All right, bye. That's Luther Gilligan reporting, recuperating there from Ellenboro. Always good to talk with him. 7:45 now. Leaves us open for birthdays and anniversaries now with this 15th day of June. June 15th. If you were born on this date and are celebrating a birthday, let us know. We will celebrate with you. Or maybe a wedding anniversary. Let us give you a big shout out this morning. Call Todd now at 287-3356, 287-3356, and we'll see who's celebrating.
Cheryl, I've been talking to Tommy and David, the outside salesmen at Henson Building Materials in Forest City. They're going to help us navigate through our remodeling project.
Well, I know they have tons of experience, so we'll be in good hands.
Good hands is right. Even professional builders shop there because they trust the quality products and service.
And did you know they have a great relationship with our community, too? Oh, they're so nice.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
Of course, you know about the delectable Granny B's Daylight Donuts. We talked about those for a number of months. And the good fresh coffee over there every morning. Now you can experience the delicious Granny B's Pizza Combo. Yes, they're doing pizzas now. Granny B's Pizza Combo. Choose from 13 different combinations. What's your preference? Check that out. You can pre-order them at 286-9012. And they can prepare that for you, have it ready for you. You'll never go back to the others when you have a Granny B's combo pizza. And be sure you save room for one of those delicious Daylight Donuts from Granny B's, West Main Street, Forest City. Birthday time right now. If you have not celebrated a birthday or are wanting to celebrate a birthday, we're going to do that right now.
Happy birthday.
Bud and Glenda Duncan of Union Mills celebrating anniversary number 46. Congratulations to them. Also on the 15th, Austin Clay's having a birthday. Aubrey Clay and Tren Hill, Pam McKeithen, June Sims, and Anna Ward all having birthdays today. And anniversaries, Keith and Janet Adkins. So happy birthday, happy anniversary to all these fine folks. And coming up, the Keys to Confident Living, top of the hour, Andrew Tisdale, 8:30 this morning. Edward Bridges down the Forest City will be my guest. We'll talk about some exciting things coming up right here, so you stay tuned.
Those of us who are old enough will never forget watching our television sets and seeing Nikita Khrushchev, former leader of the former USSR, pounding his shoe on the desk at the United Nations, or his chilling words when he boldly stated, "We will bury your grandchildren." Even more ominous for some of the people in his own country were his threats to completely destroy Christianity and display the last Christian in the USSR on public television. Well, since those bold boasts, Mr. Khrushchev has died, and the USSR is dead and buried because of its own errors and evil. To add further insult to injury, new Christians are now being baptized in the former premier's private lake, be the misguided mortals that they are. God is not mocked. The Bible says, pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. One proud young speaker went to the platform to deliver his first public address. He was going to wow the crowd with his ability in words, but his speech was a miserable failure. He came down from the platform greatly humbled. A wizened old advisor said to him, "If you'd gone up as you came down, you would have come down like you went up. God resists the proud, but gives extra help to the humble. This is Bill Hostler with today's key to confident living.
Good morning. Good morning.
ABC News. I'm Sherry Preston. The next and final stop for President Biden on his European tour will be Geneva, Switzerland, where he will sit down across the table from Russian President Vladimir Putin.
The Kremlin says President Biden and President Putin's summit Wednesday in Geneva will last about 4 to 5 hours. After the meetings, President Biden will hold a solo press conference and Putin will do the same. In 2018, former President Trump stood next to Putin and took questions from reporters. President Biden defending his plan.
This is not a contest about who can do better in front of a press conference or try to embarrass each other. It's about making myself very clear what the conditions are to get a better relationship are with Russia.
Karen Travers, ABC News, traveling with the president in Brussels.
The Biden administration announcing a new policy to counter domestic terrorism, including widespread recruitment material online.
The new national strategy aims to undermine it and to better equip local law enforcement to recognize it. There's mention of different background screening to weed out domestic terrorists from the ranks of the military and federal employees, and also cutting off ties with foreign entities linked to domestic terrorism. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
A year and 3 months after California issued stay-at-home orders because of COVID, the order is officially down.
California's big reopening means mask rules go away in most places as of today, even at Disneyland for those who are fully vaccinated. Social distancing and capacity limits also vanish here today.
ABC's Alex Stone in Los Angeles. In the Atlanta area, a man was asked to wear a mask at a grocery store. He left, came back with a gun, opened fire, killed the cashier, police say. Police like Max Wheel, who live within 3 miles of a chemical plant that's burning outside Rockford, Illinois, have been told to leave their homes and use their COVID masks outdoors as protection.
My kids mean the world to me, so anything I've got to do to make sure that they're safe.
There was an explosion yesterday at that plant because so many toxic chemicals, they're letting it burn itself out. This is ABC News.
They're pounding on the door. They're calling on the phone. It's the collectors. It's those credit cards you ran up trying to start your business. Now you found out that a DBA hurts the family and brings the pain home.
Do you remember hearing these commercials on radio? For over 40 years, Ray Reynolds has helped customers get millions in credit. It's no wonder why they call him the godfather of credit. Ray Reynolds will get your score above 720. Do you need $50,000 of corporate credit? By using corporate credit, you can finance a business, buy real estate and stock under a corporation. Take advantage of numerous tax write-offs only available to a corporation. Now you can meet Ray Reynolds on his daily webinar at 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Monday through Friday, or call 800-490-4140 to find out more about his secrets to success in helping fix and improve your credit. Go to rayswebinar.com at 11 a.m. or 2 p.m. Monday through Friday and check out his free, very informative webinar, or call 800-490-4140 now. It's worth your time and you'll learn a lot. That's rayswebinar.com or call 800-490-4140.
Some of the guns being used in crimes across the country have apparently been stolen straight from the military. An analysis by the Associated Press says between 2010 and 2020, nearly 2,000 military weapons, including pistols, machine guns, and shotguns, were lost or stolen. In some cases, those guns have been directly linked to violent crimes on streets. In February, it was a bitter and sudden cold snap that put the Texas power grid in peril. Now it's the potential for record-breaking heat that has officials in Texas asking people to ease the load by cutting back. In Dallas, ABC's Jim Ryan.
Last week, Governor Greg Abbott signed a bill meant to fix the problems that led to widespread power outages and cold weather deaths last winter. Democratic State Representative Joe Rosenthal says,
there is some good stuff in there, but the honest truth is that bill does not set the guardrails tight enough to ensure that our grid won't fail again.
Now the grid operator ERCOT has issued a statewide appeal for home and business owners to reduce power consumption or face the possibility of more blackouts. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
7 states this morning from Montana to Southern California are on alert for excessive heat and possible wildfires. And the wanting of wings, it's a big deal. The shortage getting worse. Some grocery stores putting limits on how many chicken wings shoppers can buy. Restaurants say in some cases wholesale prices for wings have doubled due to supply chain issues connected to the pandemic. This is ABC News.
O'Reilly. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, get up to a $15 gift card after mail-in rebate when you purchase select Superstart batteries. With the power and capacity your vehicle demands, Superstart batteries are designed for lasting performance and consistent starts. Turn the key with confidence with Superstart batteries only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Our cold front is on its way out, and it's going to leave behind some pleasant conditions like sunshine and not as muggy conditions as we've been seeing over the last several days. Today, highs will reach the mid-80s and lower 90s. Overnight will fall into the 60s with highs in the low to upper 80s tomorrow. Those scattered showers and thunderstorms will be confined well to the east today. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
All right, this Tuesday morning, the 15th day of the month. We're just about halfway through this month already, believe it or not, 5 minutes after 8 o'clock. And with me in the studio is Andrew Tisdale, and we'll be talking with him in just a moment.
This is for those who always show they care, who told their kids everyone 12 and older is eligible for a COVID vaccine. Those who explain to their cousins that vaccines prevent nearly 100% of hospitalizations and deaths from COVID-19. This is for the ones protecting those they love. Thank you.
We can do this. Find vaccines near you at vaccines.gov, paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Well, in the studio with me this morning is my friend Andrew Tisdale with Edward Jones, financial advisor, and he's here to talk about making good sense of our investing, and we're happy to have you.
I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad you got the memo on the color.
Yeah, because last week, it kind of, I came into the blue room cheered up, but then I walked away and got blue because you look better than me last week.
I don't know about that truth.
I'm trying my best to get like you.
What do you have in mind today?
Let's talk to what about investing? And right now we are actually going through something that shows the big importance of why we invest. So let me give you an example. If I gave you a $100 bill today and went in to Food Line right up here beside my office and we went in and bought groceries, think about in your mind, how much are you going to be able to bring out? You got a $100 bill, you go buy groceries, how much food, utility, whatever you buy, how much you going to come out with? Now let's go ahead and let's wait for another 3 years and let's do the exact same with that same $100 bill. Are you going to come out with more or less? We are in an inflation period. As a matter of fact, last month, our cost of living raised 5%. So let's put this in perspective. If I'm earning 0.01% in a bank account, but it's costing me 5% every month more to live, is that money there earning me money, or is it actually losing me money? This is why investing is so important. I'm not saying don't take everything out of the bank and put it in investments. What I'm saying is if you've got more than you need in a bank, you're losing money because your dollar's not going to buy as much tomorrow as it did today. So how do we overcome this? We invest and we put it in things that are going to actually grow at least with the pace of inflation or even higher. There are risky investments, there are aggressive investments, there are moderate investments, and there are conservative investments. But the idea behind it is to keep your dollar at least growing as much as the cost of living is. And this is why investing is so important. Putting it in a bank for emergency purposes, putting it in a bank for your necessary everyday living is a great idea. And I encourage everybody to have at least some sort of emergency plan set aside because you may need some money immediately that you need to go to the bank and get. But if I have more than that just sitting there earning 0.01%, I'm actually hurting myself because my money is not growing as fast as it needs to be.
That makes a lot of sense, and that's why I'm glad there are folks like you out there that answer a lot of those questions about that, because most average folks don't understand that fact that there's a little bit of money we can make or a lot more money we can make depending on where we have it.
Right. Again, 0.01% is not, doesn't sound like where we get confused a lot of times is because we know that value is preserved. But is it really preserved when the gas yesterday cost $2.70 a gallon, but today it's up to $2.80 a gallon? You know, well, I only earned 0.1, but it went up 3% just in one day.
You can reach Andrew at Edward Jones, 173 Railroad Avenue, Rutherfordton, and that phone number is 287-9197, and that email address is andrew.tisdale@edwardjones.com.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure seeing you, man.
I still think you look better.
Yeah, but you're muscular, though. You've been working out and running and lifting weights and coaching ball and all those things, and I'm stuck here in the blue room.
But it cheers you up. The blue room cheers you up.
That's right. Have a great day. I'll see you
have
next
a good
time.
day.
Thanks. And I'll be back in just a few moments with news from here and there.
It's a new month, and a new crop of scratch-offs are ready to harvest. These tickets are fresh off the vine and plump with prizes. Oh yeah, smells like a winner to me. So come on down. Your freshest chances to win in an instant are ready with new scratch-offs like Diamond Mine and Ruby Mine from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Kinda gives cash crop a whole new meaning. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.11. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
Some of the news from here and there as we scan the local and regional papers. The Daily Courier is reporting about the ribbon cutting at the marina in Lake Lure. On Friday, the town of Lake Lure cut the ribbon on marina improvements that will allow residents and visitors new ways to experience and explore the lake and surrounding areas. The event took place at the marina and drew leaders from across the state, including Hal Weatherman, District Director for Representative Madison Cawthorn of North Carolina District 10. As part of the Morse Park Master's Plan, this phase of renovations has replaced the dilapidated wooden boardwalk with a floating boardwalk made of longer-lasting aluminum and polymer construction. The boardwalk will rise and lower with water levels and has been expanded to allow boaters and non-boaters alike walk-through access to the newly constructed floating marina. These new updates pull together the marina, beach, and Morse Park, which will include many future enhancements to further grow the historic Lake Lure area into a destination for leisure and recreation for generations to come. So congratulations on that new innovation. It was much needed. Lake Lure's beautiful, beautiful area up there. Well, if you're keeping up with the news altogether, you know that this woke society and this council society and this all these things they're trying to impose on our kids through not only academically in classroom, but now they're taking over the children's TV shows. Some of American children's TV networks have gone gay and are losing their audience, according to the Daily Wire's Megan Basham. Since July of 2017, Nickelodeon's viewership has dropped from 1.3 million average viewers per week to a June of 2021 average of only 372,000. That is a big drop, folks. In only 4 years, Nickelodeon has dropped more than two-thirds of its audience. That is bad for the cable channel, but with cable on the way out, maybe it's not so bad. The catch here is that it is, in fact, bad and perhaps worse simply because Nickelodeon seems to be the primary driving force behind new subscribers to Paramount+. She explained that Nickelodeon's hard push to promote the LGBTQ agenda to children is having a negative impact on the network's ratings. In the last 2 weeks, both Nickelodeon and its preschool targeted network, Nick Jr., have released videos championing trans, queer, and pansexual inclusions. One video that sparked mass outrage depicted a cartoon version of drag queen Nina West singing about various LGBTQ1A groups loving each other so proudly on Blue's Clues in You, a show for 2 to 5-year-olds. That same video showed a female-to-male transgender beaver who appears to have post-operative surgical scars on its chest. Further, Nickelodeon posted a video this month featuring West, and it has been overtly celebrating Pride Week, Pride Month. The network implied in 2020 that its most popular character, SpongeBob SquarePants, is gay. An entertainment site, Pirates and Princesses, reported Nickelodeon YouTube videos were downvoted to such a degree that they've now hidden the ratio. But Basham noted that so far the negative reaction from consumers doesn't seem to be deterring the network. They want to get their agenda out there so strong it doesn't matter to them, at least for a period of time, that they're losing audience. They think that's a fluke. But when the advertisers start pulling away, then it'll register with them. Right now, they're just rolling down the hill. And parents and grandparents who find out about this and know what kind of indoctrination they're placing in the minds of our children while we put them in front of the TV to watch while we go by and do our thing. Just watch this. This will be fun. And they realize that those SpongeBob SquarePants or whatever he is and those other TV shows are indoctrinating our children and grandchildren into the LGBT movement. As long as we condone it, as long as we allow that to happen, they're going to continue it. But as you heard, the ratio of listenership has dropped dramatically since they started doing that some years ago. Well, the vast array of historical figures formerly listed as the subjects of statues that Donald Trump wanted to implement. Some of those statues included Billy Graham, John Adams, Susan B. Anthony, Aretha Franklin, Clara Barton, Frederick Douglass, Amelia Earhart, Martin Luther King Jr., Jackie Robinson, Theodore Seuss Geisel, Dr. Seuss, Harriet Tubman, Henry Clay, and Davy Crockett, among a litany of others. Well, President Joseph R. Biden has tossed the Trump administration proposed project to build a National Guard of American Heroes, with some of those folks I just mentioned listed in that Guard of Heroes. He's tossed it out. Biden said, nope, we're not going to do that. Let's toss it out. Biden issued an executive order last month on the revocation of certain presidential actions and technical amendments that will cancel the construction of the garden, featuring statues of historical figures such as Billy Graham, Aretha Franklin, and Harriet Tubman. Trump has originally proposed the garden in July 2020 and again in January 2021, saying its purpose would be to chronicle how history shows that America is a land of heroes. The National Garden will be built to reflect the awesome splendor of our country's timeless exceptionalism. It will be a place where citizens, young and old, can renew their vision of greatness and take up the challenge that I gave every American in my first address to Congress to believe in yourselves, believe in your future, and believe once more in America. That was the purpose of the garden, to recognize people of historical significance who helped make America great. Both white, both black, both men, both women, all nationalities. The vast array of historical figures formerly listed as the subjects of statues included some great names that you recognize and know, such as Billy Graham and Aretha Franklin, Frederick Douglass, Martin Luther King Jr., Jackie Robinson, Dr. Seuss, Davy Crockett, Harriet Tubman, and many, many more. Well, this president we have right now does not want to seem to do anything to praise our country and compliment the things that have been done. He'd rather push it aside. So he's destroying the idea of that Garden of Heroes. I don't know why, folks. I don't know why he does those kind of things other than he's been pushed to do it. One other quick story here, and then I'm going to move on because I got to make room for news. I don't know how many of you have read the Circle of Death, book about all the deaths surrounding the Clintons from his early days in Arkansas. Well, there's a TV news reporter who exposed the Clinton visit on the tarmac with Attorney General Loretta Lynch back when the investigation was going on with Hillary. He was a reporter that broke that story. Infamous tarmac meeting in 2016 between former President Bill Clinton and then Attorney General Loretta Lynch. He's dead now of apparent suicide. Christopher Sine, who authored a book about his big story titled Secret on the Tarmac, was found dead Saturday at 8:13 a.m. by police in Hoover, Alabama, after authorities received a report of a person down. Police and Sine's employers say his death is being investigated as a suicide. There are speculations as to why there is another death surrounding the Clintons after an investigation has been underway about the actions of the Clintons. We may never know, but now you know there's another death around that circle. Sheriff's Report coming up here in just a moment after we plan lunch.
For a delicious meal every day, call on Gregory's Original. Choose from their top menu of burgers, subs, grinders, pasta dishes, fresh salads, and so much more. All dishes are prepared fresh daily. Hours are Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. until 9 p.m., Saturday, noon until 9 p.m. Now at Gregory's, try the family-style meals. The dining room is now open, but curbside and takeout is still available. Enjoy lunch or dinner today with your favorite meal from Gregory's. Call 287-2171, located in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherford. Gregory's Original.
Sheriff Chris Francis was on with us earlier this morning. We recorded the Sheriff's Report for playback at this time. Sheriff?
In the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 170 calls for service. There have been 11 arrests processed at county jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 182. Among those arrested by the Sheriff's Office, Richard Pringle, 38-year-old male of Magnolia, North Carolina, was charged with possession of controlled substance in prison there in Spindale and received a $10,000 additional bond to the sentence he was already serving. Benny Richard Hudson, 56-year-old male of Boston, was charged with failure to appear and received a $10,000 secure bond. Kyle Kevin Whitley, 34-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with failure to appear. Among arrests, located heroin on his person, received a $10,000 bond. Akil Kellis Franklin, 20-year-old male of Henrietta, was charged with possession of controlled substance in jail. He was brought in on a writ last Friday from prison to the Sheriff's Office for a court case yesterday, and he was supposed to be going back to prison today, but located some meth on him and was charged. He'll have his first appearance today and received a $15,000 additional bond to the sentence he's already serving before he goes back to his prison cell. Robert Benjamin Parker, 42-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with 2 counts of failure to appear and non-support, received $500 secure bond as well as a $345 cash bond. Gerald Michael Cole, 62-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with domestic violence protective order violation and will see a district court judge today for bond. Among our incidents, we had a larceny, U.S. Highway 64 in Rutherford, a 2018 MVP black in color scooter valued at $500, displaying a tag of North Carolina MA79442 was taken. I believe the owner had left it for a short time because the taillight wasn't working when he came back to get it there off of Highway 64 from the little, Mount Vernon cupboard. Same was missing. His wallet was also missing. That was there with it, with his ID and some cash. We had a larceny of a tag on Jack McKinney Road, Rutherford. This occurred over the weekend at Harris Racetrack, but reported yesterday. The tag is valued at $38.75. It's independent dealer 140331. Again, North Carolina issued independent dealer 140331. We had larceny from a mailbox on Forest Ford Road. It was 2 packages contained dresses, and the value was $79.16. We had a larceny on Gray Rock Parkway in Lake Lure. This occurred over a year period of time. It was an 18-foot, 1968 Little Dude boat trailer. It had a Florida tag of LGIQ71. It was valued at $1,000. We had a larceny of a tag. Vehicle had broken down on US 221A in Mooresboro. When the owner came back to get it, the tag was missing. It was PMW 9663. valued at $36. Then PMW 9663, that was also over the weekend. We had a larceny of a tag on Hawthorne Lane, Forest City. It was North Carolina issue, ADR 4209. ADR 4209, also valued at $36. And this occurred either there on Hawthorne Lane or when the owner drives it to work in South Carolina. We had a breaking and entering on J.M. Lovelace Road in Ellenboro. Nothing appears to be missing. There's a lot of items went through in the residence. We had assault inflicting serious injury. Pine Knoll, Forest City, where the victim had gotten a disagreement with another known individual, and during a fight that occurred after the disagreement, he was stabbed in the arm, treated and released at Rutherford Regional Hospital. And Christopher Ray Hitt is the suspect. He's a 45-year-old white male in that case. And Jim, that's what we had to report today.
In Game 1 of their Stanley Cup semifinal series ended the Canadiens' postseason win streak at 7. Vegas defenseman accounted for 7 points in last night's victory. Golden Knights blue liner Nick Holden scored a goal. He says they've got a long way to go and they can't get too giddy about winning the first game.
I don't think it's going to change our game plan or how we prepare. We're going to look at how the game went tonight and make sure that we're ready for Game 2. That's the biggest thing in playoffs is making sure that you're not dwelling or looking too much at the game you just played and making sure that you're ready for the next one.
Habs Knights Game 2 tomorrow night in Sin City. Tonight, the Lightning look to even their semifinal series with the Islanders when they host Game 2 in Tampa. Virginia is joining NC State and representing the ACC at the College World Series in Omaha, while Notre Dame's season has come to an end. Kyle Teal hit a grand slam in the 7th as the Cavs clinched their 5th trip to Omaha with a 5-2 win over Dallas Baptist. Mississippi State advanced to its 3rd straight College World Series by beating Notre Dame 11-7. This is NCN Sports.
If you want the nation's best auto insurer, look no further than North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Rated #1 in Crash Network's Insurer Report Card, we're the only insurer in the nation to receive an A+ rating from auto body shops in 2020 and 2021. Our philosophy is simple. Be fair, be quick, be the best. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
If you work in public safety and have your BLET certification, have you thought about living and working at the beach? The Town of Ocean Isle Beach Police Department has full-time police officer openings now. Enjoy a premium benefits package and a $2,500 signing bonus. Experience a family atmosphere and supportive community as you protect and serve on the pristine shoreline of Ocean Isle Beach. Learn more at oibgov.com. Click on Apply Now button on the homepage. That's oibgov.com, an equal opportunity employer.
A person with direct knowledge of the decision says Jets wideout Jamison Crowder has agreed to a renegotiated deal that will keep him with the team through this season. The former Duke standout was due to make $10 million this year, but the Jets had been trying to get the 28-year-old receiver to take a pay cut. Trainer Bob Baffert has filed a suit in federal court in an effort to get his suspension by the New York Racing Association lifted. The NYRA suspended the Hall of Famer in mid-May after Kentucky Derby winner Medina Spirit failed a post-race drug test that found betamethasone in its bloodstream. Baffert said it was an ointment used to treat a skin condition, which contained the substance.
Anyone for tennis?
The British government says Wimbledon will be allowed to have a full crowd at center court for the men's and women's finals next month. The announcement comes as the government eases restrictions related to the COVID pandemic. Wimbledon is set to begin June 28th.
Nice game.
Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
Our cold front is on its way out, and it's going to leave behind some pleasant conditions like sunshine and not as muggy conditions as we've been seeing over the last several days. Today, highs will reach the mid-80s and lower 90s. Overnight, will fall into the 60s with highs in the low to upper 80s tomorrow. Those scattered showers and thunderstorms will be confined well to the east today. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
And beautiful day here in the neighborhood. A terrific Tuesday morning, and it's 71 degrees currently, warming up to about 86 for a daytime high, with a wind gust about 17 miles per hour today. So they tie the old kangaroo down, boys. It's going to be windy. Pretty good weather the rest of the week, as a matter of fact. It's 8:30. You're listening to WCAB, serving the foothills of the Carolinas from 100.9 FM, 590 AM. And I have a special guest in the studio. We'll talk with her in just a moment.
Smith's Drugs of Forest City will once again sponsor the Meet Me at the Fountain 5K race on July the 24th. And this year's race will be a live event, pending no changes in the current downward trend of the new COVID cases. Go to www.facebook.com/meetmeatthefountain5k for more information and to get sponsorship forms. All forms must be returned by July the 5th. Beneficiaries this year are the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, Yoke Fellow, and the Chase Corner Ministries. And now the soda fountain is now fully open, and Smith's Drugs is no longer offering curbside for the fountain. However, the back door is still locked as Smith's Drugs continues curbside service for the pharmacy only. The COVID-19 vaccination is available Monday through Friday only, and walk-ins are welcome. Again, the soda fountain now open at Smith's Drugs. And don't forget the upcoming 5K race. So get your sponsorship forms at Smith's Drugs in Forest City.
I'm happy to have Amy Bridges in the studio with me this morning for two reasons. One of them is Amy's always a lot to talk with. And the second reason is I know things are opening up because Amy is here to talk about things in Forest City. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
So good to see you back.
I know. It's wonderful to be back. I'm so glad everything's going back to normal.
Seems like it's been forever.
It has. It's been over a year.
Well, I'm glad that we're opening things up, and I'm glad that we got something kicking off here pretty soon, the Cherry Bounce Festival. Tell us about it.
The Cherry Bounce Festival, this would have been our third year, but of course COVID hit everybody, and we had to cancel last year, so it's actually our second festival. We went to New Bern in 2020 and accepted the award for best event from the North Carolina Main Street for this event. So we're very excited about the Cherry Bounce Festival. It will kick off on Friday with a free concert by the band Acoustic Syndicate. You may have heard of them. They're from over in Cleveland County, a good group of guys. And then we continue on Saturday with live music starting at 1 o'clock. We've got food trucks. We've got art vendors. We've got a special appearance by some moonshiners, and then it will all end up with a baseball game over at McNair Field that night.
This the first one you had, I remember, drew a big crowd. People were really excited about that kind of event.
Mm-hmm.
So now this being the second year, I expect it's going to be really good.
I think so. And the Cherry Bounce Festival is one of those unique festivals to our area. Back in 2006, the Leadership Rutherford class came up with the Cherry Bounce Trail. And the Rutherford County Tourism and Development Authority built on that. And if you've noticed, there's signage throughout the county. It's actually around a 47-mile trail. Starts over at the courthouse in Rutherfordton, goes through Spindale, down by Forest City, over into Bostic, and takes you on a route through some historic places that we feel the moonshiners would have ran their route had they been running moonshine. But in staying true to the Amos Owens Cherry Bounce Moonshine, Amos always used to have a party in June when he picked wild cherries. They had music and food, so we've just kind of expanded on that.
Quite a historical, significant place right here in Rutherford County.
Yes.
That took place.
Yes.
Now that whole weekend sounds like it's going to be full of things for people to do and families to come out and enjoy.
We are so excited, and you know, even though the festival itself is held inside Pops, which is right off Main Street, our Main Street merchants get into the spirit of things. I mean, you come early, Smith's Drugs is going to be featuring cherry-topped pancakes and French toast. After lunch, you might want to hop over to the Copper Penny for a sip of some cherry moonshine, and dessert from the Whistle Stop Bakery that's cherry inspired. El Michoacan's going to be having a cherry blossom margarita. Smith's has got some Cherry Bounce merchandise they'll be selling, t-shirts and some keychains and magnets. So all of our businesses, even if they're not food related, are offering special discounts, encouraging people to come in and shop while they're here in Forest City.
I believe you mentioned several different musical groups will be there entertaining throughout the weekend.
Yes. On Saturday, starting at 1 o'clock, we have Anya Hinkle and Teleco. Anya actually won the Chris Austin Songwriter Music Award in 2019 at Merle Fest. She's been around the Asheville area and has toured nationally. At 3 o'clock, we have Liam Purcell and Cane Mill Road. Group of young guys, 18 to 22. They're from Deep Gap, North Carolina, near Doc Watson's home place. And they were named the Emerging Band of the Year at the 2019 IBMA.
Wow.
festival. And then, of course, at 5 o'clock, we end with everybody's Rutherford County favorite, Wiregrass. So looking forward to this group of lineup of live music. The festival will start at 10 o'clock on Saturday, live music beginning at 1. We've got art vendors from around the region. We've got food trucks and concessions. Our moonshiner this year is Patty Bryan and her dad, David Parker, and they're coming all the way from Louisiana to visit with us.
Be with us through the weekend.
They'll be with us through the weekend, so we're excited about that. So, people think you have to go out of town and go out of county for events. We've got a lot happening right here in Rutherford County.
I suspect there'll be a lot of folks locally that will come, and we encourage local folks to participate and enjoy these activities as we're beginning to open up again. But I suspect with something like this, there's going to be a lot of folks coming into the area from outside.
Yes, we do have a lot of out-of-town visitors. The folks, and we encourage you, if you're coming to our event, particularly on Friday night, if you're going to be enjoying a beer or wine, to get the 21 band so that when you're served, we know you're over 21. So that gives us an idea when we're checking IDs. We kind of look and see where people are from, and it was interesting in 2019. Of course, we had the band Balsam Range, and being from Canton, they drew a large crowd from Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. So we do have a lot of out-of-town visitors coming in to these festivals.
Forest City is really getting a big name around the country on all the things that it do, including the lights in Christmas time and all those things. It's amazing what a little town like Forest City, small town, deep roots, can do for entertainment and keeping folks excited about living here.
I'm telling you, we have a good group of folks in Forest City that work to put these events on. We couldn't do it without everybody. And, coming up in August, we'll have our Hot Nights and Cool Rides car show. And that, too, will draw people from all over the Southeast.
I had to push that aside last year, too, didn't we?
I tell you, COVID was bad. But we're excited that everything's getting back to normal. One thing, we're looking for volunteers. If you are interested in volunteering for any of our events, please contact me. I'm over at Town Hall. But we would love to have you be a volunteer at some of our events.
What a great thing Pops has been for this county, not just Forest City, but for the entire county. All the activities and musical events that are there, and folks just going by and sitting down and resting and watching things go by.
Those splash pads. Yesterday I was unloading some things at the concession stand, and a lady came up complimenting us on the splash pads. Her daughter was from Durham. And every time the grandkids come in, that's one of the places they want to go when they see grandmas, go over to the splash pads.
Yeah, that's great. Anything else coming up?
Of course, always on the first Friday, we have the Finally Friday concerts. So our next one will be July 2nd with the Ace Party Band. And then on the fourth Friday of each month, we have Family Movie Night. I believe the next one is going to be The Lion King. So encourage people to come out. Check out the schedule at Forest City Pavilion on Pop Square and Forest City Events. And, of course, our town website, www.townofforestcity.com.
So volunteers are needed.
Volunteers are needed.
Good. Amy, it's always a pleasure seeing you.
Well, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to come and chat with you and talk about all the cool things happening in our town.
I'm excited about it. I'm excited about this year and making up for last year. We're going to have a great time. And folks, if you said, I wish things would open back up so we could do something, this is the time.
It is the time. So come out and join us this weekend at the Cherry Bounce Festival.
Amy Bridges is my guest, and I'll be back in just a moment.
There are so many insurance agencies here and there, but to find a dependable agency that you can trust, that would be Maxwell B. Hamrick Insurance Agency. They are your full-service agency offering auto, business, homeowners, health, and life. Maxwell B. Hamrick is an independent insurance agent. Call them today at 286-2384. They care about their customers, and it shows. Fully equipped staff are ready to help you and answer any questions you have about insurance policies. They're located at 119 Huntley Street in Spindale. Maxwell B. Hamrick Insurance Agency, serving one satisfied customer at a time.
It's 8:39. Here we are with some things that's going on, talking about. Let's see if I can pull up my old list here. They want to leave you in the dark with anything. That I was left a while ago with that story about the TV reporter who exposed the Clintons. Has been found dead. They attribute it to suicide. You have to wonder about those kind of things, right? Did want to have a program note for you as well. Starting Monday, the Rush Limbaugh show will no longer be airing. It will be the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton show. Clay Travis and Buck Sexton. Buck Sexton filled in for Rush on numerous occasions, and Clay Travis has been in his own talk show world, so they're coming together to do a talk show for the 3-hour segment there. And starting Monday morning, also during the Rush Limbaugh morning update time period, Bill O'Reilly will be doing a commentary each morning, Monday through Friday there as well. So keep that in mind. Well, the Forest City Owls and the Rutherford County Outlaws hit a home run for the July 4th weekend when the baseball organization tapped singer Lee Newton to perform a concert there. If 2 nights of fireworks for the holiday weekend were not enough, the Sunday night July 4th game just got more exciting with Newton performing a concert at McNair Field after the game. Newton, formerly of Forest City and who will still maintain ties to the area, will also perform the national anthem before the game for the start of the ball game. Newton is coming off an illustrative year as she continues to pursue a musical career with dreams of performing at the Grand Ole Opry. So that'll be Owls will do not pull back when it comes time to entertaining the fans and entertaining the folks. Sunday's July 4th game will include the Outlaws with the Owls playing on Saturday, July 3rd. Let's see what else we got here. 18 minutes before 9 o'clock. The another article on the reporter that broke the Clinton story, another source, News and Politics, is reporting that where it's unsure because he's so well liked. He was a very popular upcoming news anchor and reporter, and ended up supposedly committed suicide. Well, a 14-year-old girl who has made a name for herself. Her name is Jolene Grover. She's 14-year-old, and she's talking to the London County, Virginia School Board last week about the idea that some folks think it's okay for boys to play on girls' teams. They try to say, I feel like a girl today, so I want to play on the girls' team. And she was talking about that. She said, boys are reading erotica in the classroom next to girls, and you want to give them access to girls' locker rooms, and you want to force girls to call these boys she. It's the wisdom of 14-year-old Jolene Grover. Grover was commenting on the board's new proposed policy allowing biological boys to use girls' facilities. A draft of Policy 8350 decrees that students should be allowed to use a facility that corresponds to their gender identity. She was sporting a shirt declaring woman is female. Grover told the school board that its members should know better than to institute such dangerous sexist policies catering to modern identities. Everyone knows what a boy is, even you. Your proposed policy are dangerous and rooted in sexism. When woke kids ask me if I was a lesbian or a trans boy because I cut my hair short, it should tell you these modern identities are superficial. Grover says the boys' policies prioritize boys' want over girls' needs. Now, boys are reading erotic in the classroom next to the girls, and you want to give them access to the girls' locker rooms after that, and you want to force girls to call them boys she. You do this in the name of inclusivity while ignoring the girls who will pay the price. Your policies choose boys' wants over girls' needs. A smart girl, this 14-year-old girl, is really something. On Tuesday, a court ordered LCSB to reinstate a teacher who was suspended for voicing his concerns at a school board meeting that the policy under consideration violated his religious beliefs and was harmful to children. I will not affirm that a biological boy can be a girl and vice versa because it is against my religion, physical education teacher Tanner Cross stated on May 25th during the public comments portion of the meeting. It's lying to a child. It's abuse to a child. It's sinning against our God, he said. So he was fired, but he has been since reinstated because of that. So some folks are willing to stand up and be counted in that respect. Senator Langford is challenging the Department of Human and Health and Human Services Secretary Xavier Becerra. It was appointed by President Biden. Senator Langford is challenging the secretary to define birthing people, which Biden's budget uses instead of mothers. At a hearing last Thursday morning, about the budget for the Department of Health and Human Services, Senator James Langford from Oklahoma, a Republican from Oklahoma, challenged HHS Secretary Xavier Becerra to explain why President Biden's budget proposal refers to mothers as birthing people instead of mothers. Although those of you that are listening this morning have had babies, were you considered a birthing person? Are you considered a mother? Well, this group up in Washington now is trying to take the mother title away from you and call you a birthing person. Langford stressed that mom is a pretty good word, and the language in this bill is birthing person and not mother. At one point, Langford said to Becerra, I also noticed you changed the term in your budget work. You shifted in places from using the term mother to birthing people rather than mother. Can you help me get a good definition of birthing people? Becerra replied, quote, I'll check on the language there, but I think if we're talking about those who give birth, I think we're talking about, I don't know how else to explain it to you other than, Langford then said, I was a little taken back when I just read it and saw it, that the term mother was gone in spots, and that it was replaced with birthing people. And I didn't know if this was a direction that you were going, if there were shifts, if there are regulatory changes that are happening related to that, or what the purpose of that is. Why change it from mother to birthing person? I think it's probably, and again, I'd have to go back and take a look at the language. This is the secretary talking. I think it's probably, and again, I'd have to go back and take a look at the language that was used in the budget, but I think it simply reflects the work that's being done. Chances are he didn't even know that was in there like that. Langford sent out a press release discussing the phases inclusion of the budget request and detailing his questioning of Becerra. In the release, Langford says he questioned Becerra on language in the president's proposed budget regarding maternal health that referred to birthing people instead of mothers, even though the science is clear that women give birth. Person doesn't give birth, a woman gives birth. This term has been gaining popularity, particularly among the LGBTQ activities, and their activists and their allies. So they want to take all this language away from us and make it something that it's not. They've even taken the rainbow that God placed in the heavens after the flood to make it a promise. They've even taken the rainbow and made that their symbol. Yeah. According to a tweet from the pro-abortion NARAL, these are folks who believe in killing babies, quote, when we talk about birthing people, we're being inclusive. It's that simple. We use gender-neutral language when talking about pregnancy because it's not just cisgender women that can get pregnant and give birth. Reproductive freedom is for everybody. Apparently, they flunked biology. Yeah, apparently they flunked biology. As the promotion of transgenderism increases, so has the use of so-called inclusive language, even in areas that are specific to one sex only, like motherhood. I've never seen a father give birth to a baby. Left-wing organizations and popular culture demands that people accept transgender people as the opposite of their biological genetic sex, thus claiming that only women can give birth is false, according to their logic. All right, let's rewrite history. Let's rewrite the Bible. Let's rewrite biology. Let's rewrite zoology. Let's rewrite philosophy. Let's rewrite everything that's against what we want to create and make it bad. In an article entitled 5 Things to Know to Make Your Feminism Trans Inclusive, the LGBTQ lobby group Human Rights Campaign asserts that trans women are women because transgender men who are biologically women can give birth. Some people, and even the government and the media, are opting for the term birthing person in the name of wokeness. How do you feel about that, folks? Mothers, you want to be called a birthing person, or you want to be called a mother? You know they're wanting now to take away all the holidays now and take away everything. So they will no longer be, if they will have their way, I don't think it's going there, but if they were to have their way, there'd be no more Mother's Day. It would be Birthing Person's Day. And there'd be no Father's Day because fathers can have babies too. So I guess that'd be Birthing Person's Day again. You see how idiocy this concept is and how crazy it is? Our minds are being confused. And it's very biblical, very scriptural. What's wrong was seen to be right. What's right was seen to be wrong. Closer to the end of time. I mean, it's just that plain, folks. It's just that plain. And if we sit around, oh well, it'll be okay. Well, we gotta fight. We gotta fight for the right. I think we do anyway. One more story, then I got to clear out of here. Make room for my Great America with Jim and Butch. Did you hear about this guy? Couldn't help but think of poor old Jonah. But this Massachusetts diver looking for lobsters for others to eat almost became a meal himself with this humpback whale swallowed him. Local lobster diver Michael Picard on Friday related what took place in the waters off the coast of Provincetown. I was lobster diving and a humpback whale tried to eat me. I was in his closed mouth for about 30 to 40 seconds before he rose to the surface and spit me out. I'm very bruised up but have no broken bones, he posted on the Facebook group page in Provincetown. After being rejected as a bit of breakfast, Picard was taken to Cape Cod Hospital in Hyannis, Massachusetts, and then released with what he called a lot of soft tissue damage. All of a sudden, I felt this huge shove, and the next thing I knew, it was completely black, he said. I could sense I was moving, and I could feel the whales squeezing with the muscles in his mouth. Packard's first thought was that a great white shark had attacked him, but he felt no teeth and could sense no obvious wounds. I was completely inside. It was completely black. I thought to myself, there's no way I'm getting out of here. I'm done. I'm dead. All I could think of was my boys. They're 12 and 15 years old. Wearing his scuba gear caused a bit of a struggle as the whale decided that perhaps this was something less tasty than what he'd expected. So within 30, 40 seconds, by Packard's estimate, his chance came. I saw light, and he started throwing his head side to side, and the next thing I knew, I was outside. The diver's sister, Cynthia Packard, said crew member Josiah Mayo saw the whale come to the surface. There was all this action at the top of the water. Then she said the whale appeared to spit out the lobster diver. After the whale released Michael Packard, Mayo pulled him from the water, radioed into shore, and arranged for the diver to be taken to the hospital once they arrived back at the pier. Thank God it wasn't a white shark. He sees this all the time out there. He must have thought he was done. I thought to myself, okay, this is it. I'm going to die. Michael said, according to Boston.com. One expert said the whale was probably young, and no doubt if he was scripturally, he might have jumped out and said, where is it you want me to go, Lord? You want me to go to Nineveh? Well, I don't know what happened there, but can you imagine being in no longer 20 to 30 seconds, but that's long enough, I think. All right, it's 8:52. My Great America with Jim DeWitch coming up here at 9:05 this morning, so don't go anywhere.
Saving money is easy when you shop at Jay's Discount Grocery. From snack foods to vegetables, fresh fruits to fresh cut meats, paper products, cleaning supplies, dog food, and so much more. You know, you just never know what you'll find at Jay's. So shop and save today. They're located at 671 Oak Street in Forest City, right beside the Hospice Resale Store. You know, when you shop at Jay's, you always walk out with money left over in your pocket.
It's a Father's Day weekend festival everybody can enjoy. The Cherry Bounce Festival is alive and well and scheduled for June 18th and 19th at Forest City Pavilion on Park Square, better known as Pops. Friday gates open at 7 p.m. with live music by Acoustic Syndicate. Saturday 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. Bring the family for the all-day festival. Live music by Anya Hinkle and Teleco, Leon Purcell, and King Mill Road and Wiregrass. Enjoy the art vendors and food trucks and concessions all day. There will be a special appearance by Patty and David Walker from the Discovery Channel's Moonshiners. The festival ends with a baseball game at McNair Field, with the Forest City Owls hosting the Martinsville Mustangs at 7:05. It'll be a great time to get out again and enjoy this free event, June 18th and 19th at Pops in downtown Forest City. I'll see you back here bright and early tomorrow morning, folks, so don't go anywhere, though. We got My Great America with Jim and Butch coming up here in just a few moments.
Holding hands, sipping cherry cokes, and enjoying the music of the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
ABC News. I'm Sherry Preston. Meetings with European Union leaders, NATO officials, and royalty are in the rearview mirror for President Biden. Now it's time to get ready for tomorrow's face-to-face with Vladimir Putin. ABC News Chief White House correspondent Cecilia Vega is traveling with the president in Brussels.
Sources say the president has been deep in preps, briefing at least once a day. The White House assembling a team of experts on Russia, including a former National Security Council official from the Trump administration, who once said she considered faking a medical emergency to stop that now infamous press conference where Trump sided with Putin over his own intelligence community. President Biden says his goal is to avoid conflict and stabilize relations.
The president and Putin will give separate press conferences following their meeting. A heat wave across the West has people in 7 states on the lookout for extreme temperatures and the possibility of wildfires. It also has those in Texas bracing for possible power outages.
Lay off the air conditioner, at least a little. The same issue that left millions without electricity in the depth of winter is back.
We are deeply concerned about the issues associated with all of these plants that are offline.
But Warren Lasher of the Texas grid operator is at a loss to explain why the power plants are down. Just a week ago, a bill was signed into law intended to address the grid problems. Critics say it didn't go far enough. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
Mask mandates are being lifted in California, even as the country sits on the verge of 600,000 deaths from COVID-19. Pamela Addison from New Jersey lost her husband last year.
It is heartbreaking for me to see this number, because when my husband died, it was only 60,000 people, and I could never in my wildest dreams imagine that we would be here today.
In the Atlanta area, a grocery store clerk asked a customer to put on a mask. He left, got a gun. Police say came back and shot the clerk to death. A security guard fired back, wounding the gunman. The guard also wounded. You're listening to ABC News.
It's all about the nose. It's your air filter, the first line of defense against bacteria and viruses. If too many germs get stuck in your nose, guess what? You get sick. That's why it's so important to keep your nose clean, just like washing your hands. Nasal irrigation gets rid of germs by rinsing the nasal cavity, but neti pots are hard to use and, frankly, kind of gross. Now there's a better way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself. It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to flush out allergens, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. Millions use Navage for fast, all-natural relief from sinus congestion and allergies, and to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Navage is easy to use, affordable, and comes with an absolute guarantee of satisfaction. You wash your hands and brush your teeth every day. Now it's time to start cleaning your nose with Navage. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
This afternoon, FBI Director Christopher Wray will be on Capitol Hill facing more questions about the January 6th riot. The House Oversight Committee today focusing on the delays in getting help to Capitol Hill. Worries about new threats of violence in Israel just days after the new government took control. ABC's Jordana Miller explains why.
Israel's new government facing its first major challenge. The controversial Jerusalem Day flag march led by ultranationalists is threatening to reignite a conflict with Hamas just weeks after a ceasefire ended 11 days of fighting. Hamas warning it will respond to the march, calling it a, quote, explosive. Arab residents and Palestinians have long objected to the nationalist march through the disputed areas of the old city's Damascus Gate and Muslim Quarter. Prime Minister Naftali Bennett barring the march today from entering those neighborhoods and deploying the Iron Dome batteries in case of Hamas rocket fire. Jordana Miller, ABC News, Jerusalem.
The U.S. and Europe reaching a deal today to end a long-running dispute over subsidies to major airline makers. The two sides have been trading tariffs over the subsidies Europe gives to Airbus and the help the U.S. gives to Boeing. The U.S. Trade Representative says the agreement would suspend tariffs for the next 5 years. And in New Zealand, somebody has bought a house plan for what many people pay for a car, $19,000 for a rare, white, variegated Tepsamaria. This is ABC News.
O'Reilly. Ready for an oil change? The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts are here to help. We'll make sure you have all the supplies you need to make the job quick and easy. Right now, get 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for just $28.95. Plus, get a $10 gift card after mail-in rebate. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Our cold front is on its way out, and it's going to leave behind some pleasant conditions like sunshine and not as muggy conditions as we've been seeing over the last several days. Today, highs will reach the mid-80s and lower 90s. Overnight will fall into the 60s with highs in the low to upper 80s tomorrow. Those scattered showers and thunderstorms will be confined well to the east today. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
And currently our temperature reading is 73 degrees, according to Peter the meter reader. Started out 71, went to 68, back to 71, now 73. But our destination is 86 today with some wind gusting to about 17 miles per hour today. It's going to be another great getting up morning here in the foothills. A terrific Tuesday morning it is. Thank you for staying with us here on WCAB 100.9 FM, 590 AM.
It's time now for My Great America with Jim and Butch, a conversation about positive things about this great country. And now here are Jim and Butch.
That must be us.
That's us, Jim, and you know what? It's always great to be here at My Great America with Jim and Butch. It's our passion, and it's driven by our understanding of Scripture and our responsibility as Christian patriots. It's our passion to bring positive, uplifting stories, but also to bring dangers and warnings when people are in a state of malaise. And, you know, I'm wearing a FreightWorks security vest, Jim. You wear suspenders. I thought, you know what, I need to do something a little notable here. But you know what? Why do you wear a vest like this? You wear it because you want people to notice that you're there. Jesus made it very clear in Scripture that we're not to hide our light under a bushel. We're to be noticed, not in a way that brings attention on us, but we are supposed to be living the kinds of lives where people look and say something is different in them. And certainly as it relates to the culture and the country right now, nobody can afford to keep their light under a bushel, can they? So I wanted to wear this neon FreightWorks safety vest where when I leave the office there, when I'm there a couple of days a week at FreightWorks and go out to the maintenance shop, you know, we're obliged, compelled by the guidelines to put one of these things on, and people notice that you're coming. So I just wanted to use a little word picture and tell folks, don't let your light stay under a bushel today. Let people notice that you love God, you love your family, you love your community, and you love your country.
That's a great illustration. I'm glad you did explain that, because I thought maybe you were going to direct traffic out here on Whiteside Road.
Okay, now if God told me to do that, I would do that too. Or it looks a little bit like the people that bring the airplanes back when they do this kind of thing and this sort of thing. You know, one thing that is so great, though, I have to say this, and it's such a blessing, and people have cried out and yearned for it, is the country starting to open up, and certainly our county starting to open up. You just had Amy in here,
yes.
And she gave a nice interview. I actually met her for the first time, Amy Bridges, the Town of Forest City Downtown Community Development Manager, and we were talking about some of her counterparts over there in Shelby, and you know, that's where I first learned about things like the Liver Mush Festival. But it's so great to see the county starting to open up. In the open house that we had for Calder and Valentine at the historic Blanton House last week, it looks like we had a little over 500 people that probably ended up coming through in those 2 days.
Well, that was fantastic. That's a beautiful showplace for Shelby, historically there on that historic house. And what they've done to that house to remodel it, I guess you could say, it's just absolutely beautiful. It's a showplace. It really is a showplace.
Well, and you know what? God is a God of miracles, and if you don't know that personally, you can know that as you find Jesus worth the knowing, and life is a great adventure. I mean, when people say you Christians are dull, you know, I used to think I had a pretty interesting life until I came here. And by the way, the 14th of June, was that yesterday?
That was yesterday.
Yeah, the 14th of June was the 4-year anniversary of the first time I came to Rutherford County.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah, I will never forget it. I came with an Israeli friend, and he had relationships with my church, Word of Faith Fellowship. We walked through the doors, and our praise and worship team was was singing, and that was the beginning of what's become here 4 years later an absolute incredible transforming 4 years of my life. And part of that story, Jim, has involved you and I getting to know each other as dear friends. You're a brother to me, an older brother to me. And I love being able to say that, even though both of us qualify for Medicaid. That's a different story. But in any event, God will show you the miraculous things that are happening around you if you just take the time to cry out to Jesus. He'll show you. But it's been so encouraging to see the signs of life again. You know, we've got a Hobby Lobby that's coming. We've got a cookout that's coming. We've got a Chick-fil-A that's coming. You know, new restaurants. You know, it's the signs of life. And after a very, very hard 2020 for so many people, it's just great to see that, isn't
We've
it?
been saying past couple of years, I guess, on our show and talking with the Chamber of Commerce director, hold on, folks. There's good news coming. We can't relate to anything right yet, but once we get confirmation, we'll announce it. I was happy to be able to announce Chick-fil-A officially was coming. And there'll be some other things that we'll be happy to announce later. But I think a lot of folks are excited about the Chick-fil-A. I know I'm excited about them.
Right, and you know what, folks. One thing I've learned about my dear friend Jim, I'm going to talk about him third person for a minute, is he probably harbors secrets of other new developments that are happening here. If you just want to email him or call him, maybe he'll share those with you. You know, I love that people just drop in here at WCAB. It's on Whiteside Road. It's right across from Farmer's Friend Feed. If you've always wondered what happens in that little building there at WCAB, make sure that sometime you just pop in and say hello. It's your community voice. We want it very much to be that way, especially in the days that we live in. You know, I was reminded Paul Harvey and Rush Limbaugh are both people that we look to, Jim, as examples, forerunners of what we're trying to do with our little program here. Rush Limbaugh said only a year or so before he died, "Why is freedom such a hard sell?" That's the question. In this country, why has the idea of individual liberty and responsibility become such a hard sell? That's something I never thought would happen in my lifetime. You know, not within years of his death, he was asking a very important question, which is why in the world, Jim, has it become the case where it's unpopular to talk about patriotism, unpopular to talk about our constitutional history, our biblical history, our forefathers who loved Jesus? Why has that become so impossible for us to do freely? And that's why you got to put on your, not just safety vest, but the vest announcing, I am here, like Lady Liberty with that light, I am here to proclaim the timeless, unshakable, biblical truth that this country was created on the foundation of God's Word, which is unshakable. And I promise you this, it will not go well for anyone who attempts to perpetrate a scrubbing of God from American history. That is not a pronouncement of a curse, but I promise you, based on God's unshakable truths, it will not go well for any entity or person who attempts to scrub God from the story and the narrative of American history. It will go badly for them.
I think you're right. And unfortunately, there are so many blinded folks out there that don't really see that. And throughout the Bible, it talks about us being salt and light in our society. Salt and light. Light, of course, brightens up the path for people, and salt seasons things. And that's what we're supposed to be. We're not supposed to sit around on the couch and, as my dad used to say in some of his sermons, sit on the stool of do nothing. You're supposed to get up and
that's good.
Be up and move in action.
That's good. That's good. I could see that in a conversation. Somebody complaining about what's going on in the country. I can say to him, you know, as my good friend Jim Bishop says, are you just sitting there complaining on the stool of good nothing? Do nothing. Do nothing. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Before we move any further, I believe you're going to a big conference this weekend that I'm excited about. I wish I could go with you. It's the big conference of family,
faith and freedom.
Boy,
Ralph Reed founded that. Ralph and I first met each other in the late '80s. We were both the two youngest vice presidents at the time. And God did that, not us. At CBN, our common boss was Pat Robertson, and Ralph Reed ended up founding here years later Faith and Freedom, which is arguably the tip of the spear in a lot of conservative evangelical voter mobilization. They're oracles of God's truth out there in the marketplace. So I have an exciting announcement, which is WCAB was granted media credentials to the Faith and Freedom Conference. So I've got my WCAB badge. I'll be going as our representative, Jim. So while you're not physically there, you are always with me.
All right.
In those kinds of settings. And I'll be calling in on Thursday. I'm trusting I'll be able to do that with a guest. But it's a very strong lineup. And the goal is to mobilize people, inform, inspire, and incite them to positive action as it relates to the midterm elections. So we're one-eyed on that. But there's some speakers there that are good ones.
I had a privilege a few years ago to interview Ralph Reed on this radio show, my radio show, and I'd met him earlier and talked to him about being on the show. He willingly did that, and I've been real impressed with him and his leadership and what he's doing in our society. But some of the great speakers, along with Ralph Reed, Ted Cruz, Glenn will be in there, Denise D'Souza, who I have a lot of respect and confidence in. Dr. Richard Lee, of course, Madison Cawthorn from right here in Western North Carolina will be one of the speakers. One of my favorite, Mark Robinson.
Isn't Mark great?
Boy, what a great speaker and what a great guy. Eric McTaxas, who is on before me every morning on from the Salem Radio Network. He's going to be there. And let's see who else. Governor DeSantis, I believe, is.
Yes.
He's going to be there. And another one of my favorite, Newt Gingrich.
Right.
I've interviewed him and his wife before on this radio. So Michael Medved and on the list.
Judge Janine.
Janine, yeah.
Judge Janine. I believe we have a senator from Wisconsin that'll be there, Senator Johnson, and a congressman or two will be there. So it's going to be a strong lineup, and it's going to be one-eyed and positive and very focused, and that is, let's not be in any kind of malaise. Let's not be lazy. The midterm elections in 2022, we know what the goal is there, and I'm going to have the opportunity as well. I'm serving as an advisor to a relatively new student organization that's attempting to mobilize conservatives on college campuses across America. And if you know anything about the battle taking place, and it's been true for decades now on America's colleges and universities, including places like my alma mater, Wheaton College, which is sometimes referred to as the Harvard of Christian schools. You cannot believe what's happening in so many institutions, even those that are organized, have been organized around Christian principles. The woke agenda is coming in with deadening impact on Christian sensibilities. And we've got to stand up and be counted, Jim. So I'll be there as well to try to help Andrew as he's kind of officially launching a student-oriented group. They already have college campuses where conservatives have been shut up in so many cases, and they're saying enough is enough, and no. So I'll be down there to help them as well.
Even colleges and universities that you would at least expect to ever be caught up in this, is it getting caught up in that, and they're turning away from their founding principles. And it's sad to see that happen.
Right. And that's why we have got to lead with love. It's so important to lead with love because it's only love that covers a multitude of sins. A person's not going to learn, in my experience, until they know they're loved.
Yes.
If a person doesn't feel respected and loved, the door is not going to open. In communication theory, it's referred to as the Johari window. It's not going to open enough for you to deliver truth to people. And if you go out with your gun, rhetorically, shooting away, and people are running away and ducking and hiding, don't be surprised by that. If we're not being respectful and loving and caring and committed to the reality that God died for the whole world. I know it's hard for some people to believe that Jesus died for Joe Biden, but he did.
He did.
He did. And if the love of God is not shed abroad in our hearts as an illustration of what God will do in the life of a person, we have zero credibility when it comes to any kinds of discussions. So the next time you're tempted to get on there with your quick draw McGraw keystroke and get in there into social media and start slamming people, ask yourself the question, is that the pattern of Jesus? Is that what Jesus did? And lots of people like to talk about Jesus going into the temple and turning over the tables and flailing a big whip. And that is a story and it's truth in Scripture. But there are also hard sayings of Jesus, like, Do good to those who despitefully use you. Jesus said that. And that wasn't a suggestion, it was a command. So while we're proof texting all of the things that we love that make our political engagement something where we can just grab the battle axe and start flailing away, not realizing that we've got collateral damage from people that have an interest and curiosity, remember the ethic of Jesus. Everything we do has to be done in love, right?
That's right, exactly. And that's hard sometimes. It's hard.
It is. Now, I was preaching a sermon myself, and I was letting you listen in for a couple of minutes there because, folks, I have found this to be true in my own life, in my wandering state, in the depth and the throes of bitterness, finding solace in a wine bottle instead of a vibrant personal relationship with Jesus. In the middle of all of that, I'll tell you, the people that had influence in my life were the ones who were authentic, the ones who were transparent, the ones who gave truth, but they did it wrapped in love. And if you're in the midst of a situation in your home or your business or your community, your household, where somebody is tremendously wounded, we have a saying in our church that's more than a saying, it's a spiritual maxim. I'm not asking anybody to pet the devils in me, and I'm not going to pet the devils in anybody else. You may know somebody that's always angry. They're always angry. Well, you know what? A loving friend will go to them privately and say, you know what? You're hurting yourself. Let's get a hold of this. We need to get into an age where we're accountable to each other again. We created so much isolation. I did a church radio program on this recently where I talked about the fact that several studies have shown that the isolation in men is contributing to their early death. And having friendships like we have, Jim, is not just the right thing to do. It's good for us. It's good for us to have that back and forth. Iron does sharpen iron. It says in Scripture that there are friends and then there are brothers born for adversity. And the adversity that the nation faces today, I'm grateful for the chance on Tuesday and Thursday to come in for us to check our verbal holster and see if we've got, some bullets in there and fire not out into the crowd, but fire with notice into the air. This country's not dead.
No.
We're not, and not on our watch.
No.
Not going to happen on our watch, is it?
Yes, absolutely. And I like your enthusiasm about that because you sort of help wave that flag of America is still great. We still are great. And between us being great and America being great, we can accomplish great things.
And you know what? I know this for a fact because several have come back to me. Every time you and I are on, it creates gastrointestinal distress for many Democrats that knew me. They cannot believe that I've been snatched by this county, snatched by Jim Bishop, and enlisted in a conservative army that I'm proud to be a part of now. And every so often I get a note that has the same theme to it. Essentially, the theme is, you were a tremendous disappointment to us. But you know what? There's only one individual, and it's not an individual. There's only one person we should ever seek to please, and that's Jesus. And when you get rid of all of the weight of man or woman pleasing, your life is liberated. At the end of the day, we have to look at the end of the day and say, have I done what God called me to do today? And one of the things that he's called me to do is to make sure I keep going back into history and remembering where those fingerprints are that God has on our nation. And I read something recently that was so good. Dr. Howard Kelly was considered by many to be the most famous medical practitioner in the United States in the first half of the 20th century, Jim. He was a pioneer in the field of gynecology and radium therapy. He was a professor of gynecology and obstetrics at Johns Hopkins University. He was a surgeon at Johns Hopkins. His published works were unsurpassed in his day. He wrote some 20 scientific books and over 500 medical and scientific studies. He was the premier doctor in his field in the entire United States of America. And he could have let that go to his head, but did he? Well, listen to this. When asked what the secret of his greatness was, Dr. Kelly from Johns Hopkins said, I rise regularly at 6 a.m. and after dressing give all my time until 8 o'clock for our breakfast to the study of God's Word. 2 hours every day. I find time for brief studies during the day and again in the evening. I make it a general rule to touch nothing but the Bible after the evening meal. It's the premier doctor in America. Now listen to this. What difference did the Bible make in this busy surgeon's life? That was the question. Here's what he said. One of the most cogent reasons for my supreme confidence in the Bible is that it reveals to me, as does no other book in the world, that which appeals to a physician. A clear diagnosis of my spiritual condition, showing me clearly what I am by nature, one lost in sin, alienated from God, that is in God. I find it to be a consistent and wonderful revelation from Genesis to Revelation of the character of God, far removed from any man's natural imaginings. It also reveals a tenderness and a nearness of God in Christ that satisfies the heart's yearnings and presents the infinite God, creator of the world, as taking our very nature upon him in infinite love to become one of his people in order to redeem them. This was one of the most highly educated people in the country. You know, another great American, George Washington, rose regularly and spent the time from 5 until 6 in the morning on his knees before a chair on which lay an open Bible. He retired every evening at 9 o'clock to the same study, to the same chair, and to the same open Bible. Ladies and gentlemen, our nation wasn't founded by a bunch of intelligent people who said, let's start a country. The God of the universe, who's not accidental, incidental, or random, birthed this nation based on foundational biblical principles and did it for a purpose. We're a shining city on a hill, as George H.W. Bush said. And if you're not letting your light, if you're not letting your reflective vest of God's work in your life and heart being turned loose in our county every day, you're hiding your light under a bushel. And Jim, that's not just a mistake. That's sin. That's wrong. So shake off the lethargy and get enlisted in God's army today, right?
There's room for it.
That's why you get up. I'm sure there have been times, Jim, because it especially happens as you're in the 7th decade of life. It especially happens, you have mornings where you roll out and you go, you may not feel like it. I'm not presuming on you and I'm not projecting on it, but there are times where you just don't, it's like, I ache. I kind of ache. And my grandfather used to say that he ached every day after he turned 65, but he would say, God, help me just get my feet over the edge of the bed. Okay, help me take the first few steps to the bathroom. Help me to shave. God cares about every detail, but you know, you're faithful every day. You light the torch and you come down here early in the morning to present truth to this county, and you refuse to let the fire go out. And we need everybody to be tending the fire of truth.
We need more in the army. We need more in that spiritual army to fight those battles and to lead the pack.
Right. And so, Jim, what would you say to somebody who said, I've never really been politically engaged and I've never been an activist and I'm just kind of a sit on the sidelines person? What would you say to them if they're listening this morning? Or somebody who says, I'm older, I'm an elder, I just don't have much I can contribute. What would you say to somebody who says, I'm just not somebody that's got much to bring to the table? What would you say to them?
Well, certainly I would disavow that. I think everybody has something they can contribute to a positive cause, and that positive cause being a great America. And those folks who are unable to get out and go, like some of us can, there's always room for prayer. Every army needs prayer. Everything we do needs prayer. And if those folks on the sidelines, they could just pray every day for those folks out in the fight, that's what they need. They need that kind of uplift.
Right. And if every single day, it doesn't have to be grandiose. If you would purpose in your heart, I want to bring light and life to someone.
Yes.
God will give you if you pray, if you will covenant in this way, if you pray and say, God, would you bring people across my path who today I can bring your light, your love, and your encouragement and your truth to, God will be faithful to that. When you realize that if you love Jesus, if you're born again, if you believe, receive, trust, and obey daily, if you're daily being saved, if you believe and receive the truth of what God did when he came from heaven through his son Jesus, he will give you opportunities to bring that truth, because we are the feet of Jesus. We are the hands of Jesus. We are the words. We're to be the oracles of God. And as we do that, Jim, what's going to happen, not in ways that are always dramatic and in ways that are often unseen, as we reach into the seed bag and keep sowing the seeds of God's truth, it will make a difference. And that is what this program is all about. My Great America is not My Great America, my great program for WCAB. It's God's little way in the county of communicating the truth. We can do better, and we can do better than that.
Wherever he leads, I'll go.
Right.
God bless America.
God bless America, Jim. I'll talk to you on Tuesday.
Thank you for joining us for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Join us each Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9:05 for this enlightening program on 100.9 FM and 590 AM. It's My Great America with Jim and Butch.